Hey guys, welcome back to Small Doses of Insight. Alright, buckle up because we're diving deep into Kim Ga-eun from The Devil Judge, the guy who is basically a walking, talking moral dilemma. This dude is all over the place, torn between being a textbook goody two-shoes and getting down and dirty in the mud with the corrupt system. Let's break down what makes Ga-eun tick, and trust me, it's a roller coaster that makes my own chaotic life look organized in comparison. First off, let's set the stage. Ga-eun enters the dystopian hellscape of the Devil Judge as the righteous rookie judge. His entire vibe screams, "I believe in justice," which sounds cool and all until you realize that he's got some serious baggage, like cargo plane level baggage. Dude lost his parents at a young age, classic K-drama setup, which gives him this desire to fix the broken system and be the good guy in a world full of bad ones. We get it, Ga-eun, you're trying to be Superman without the cape, but the world's more Gotham than Metropolis, my guy. The loss of his parents shapes him into this textbook idealist. He believes the law is sacred and justice can be achieved through proper means. Ga-eun starts out looking at life like it's a college ethics class, all black and white. This is where he becomes super relatable. I mean, who hasn't thought they could fix the world when they were fresh out of school only to get slapped by reality? Ga-eun starts with this pristine sense of justice, but the world around him is so corrupt it's like throwing a snowball into a dumpster fire. And trust me, by the end of the show, he's singed around the edges. Enter Kang Yo-han, the titular devil judge and low-key vigilante. This guy is like if Batman, Lex Luthor, and Judge Judy had a morally ambiguous love child. Yo-han is a straight-up master manipulator, and he immediately zeroes in on Ga-eun's naiveness. Yo-han's like, "You think you know justice? Let me show you what's up." And he does, by dragging Ga-eun into his web of corruption, manipulation, and morally questionable decisions. It's like watching someone fall into a moral quicksand. Ga-eun wants to do the right thing, but Yo-han keeps tossing him lifelines made of razor wire. Now this is where things get spicy. Yo-han initially brings Ga-eun in because, well, dude looks exactly like Yo-han's dead brother, Isaac. And no, this isn't some shallow plot device. It's meant to mess with both Ga-eun and the audience. Yo-han projects all these emotions onto Ga-eun, seeing his dead brother in him and messing with Ga-eun's head while simultaneously pulling him into his vigilante crusade. Talk about emotional manipulation on expert mode. This relationship is what really turns Ga-eun's character arc into something special. He starts as Yo-han's moral counterbalance, constantly trying to drag him back from the edge of villainy. But as the show progresses, you see Ga-eun's ideals erode, especially after discovering the dark truth behind his parents' deaths. His internal struggle becomes, do I keep following the rules or do I break bad to achieve the justice I've been chasing my whole life? At first, Ga-eun is the one guy who believes in the system, even as it crumbles around him. He's got that whole lawful good energy, thinking the system just needs some patchwork and it'll be good as new. But then, as he gets deeper into Yo-han's world, he realizes the system isn't just broken, it's built to be corrupt. Like, it's rotting from the core and no amount of moral duct tape is going to fix it. Watching Ga-eun grapple with that truth is like watching someone slowly realize their favorite hero is a fraud. There's this key turning point for Ga-eun when he finds out that the command responsible for his parents' deaths is living his best life in some peaceful countryside, far away from the justice's reach. Yo-han takes Ga-eun on a little field trip to show him just how corrupt the system really is. It's brutal. Ga-eun watches as the guy who destroyed his life lives happily with his family, and when Yo-han burns it all down, literally, it's like the final nail in the coffin of Ga-eun's morality. After this, Ga-eun starts to slide into the dark side, realizing that maybe, just maybe, vigilante justice isn't so bad after all. Let's not ignore the bromance between Yo-han and Ga-eun. These two dudes are like polar opposites, but at the same time, they get each other on a level that's both wholesome and toxic. On one hand, you've got Yo-han, this ruthless judge who's been so scarred by life that he's ready to burn everything down, and on the other hand, you've got Ga-eun, who just wants to build things back up. Their relationship is like watching fire and ice collide, and it's oddly touching. Yo-han sees a bit of his old self in Ga-eun, and there are moments when it seems like Ga-eun might actually soften Yo-han's cold heart. But man, does this bromance have its ups and downs. It's not all emotional bonding over ramen bowls and life lessons. Ga-eun constantly struggles with trusting Yo-han, especially when it becomes clear that Yo-han has no problems crossing moral lines. Gaon's internal battle whether to keep his distance or to dive headfirst into Johan's way of thinking creates some serious tension. And let's not forget Gaon's tragic loss of his best friend and potential love interest, Soo-hyun, which throws him further into the emotional blender. This dude just can't catch a break. By the time we reach the end, Gaon is no longer the hopeful, doe-eyed rookie judge we met at the beginning. He's been through the ringer, lost loved ones, witnessed and participated in shady dealings, and seen just how dark the world can be. The Gaon at the end of The Devil Judge is a guy who has tasted both sides of the moral spectrum, and he's come out, well, not unscathed, but definitely wiser. He's still conflicted, still unsure if Johan's way is the right way, but there's a part of him that can't deny the power of taking justice into his own hands. In the final scene, we see him contemplating what the future holds. Will he follow Johan's path completely, or will he find a way to reconcile his ideals with the harsh reality of the world? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. But one thing's for sure, Gaon's transformation from an idealistic judge to a man who understands the costs of real justice is one of the most compelling parts of The Devil Judge. It's the kind of character arc that leaves you questioning your own morality, and that's pretty dope for a K-drama. Gaon's whole story is a masterclass in how ideals can crumble under the weight of reality. He walks into the judicial system thinking he can change it from within, only to find out that the corruption runs way deeper than he thought. The harsh truth? Sometimes the system is built to favor those who exploit it. Gaon's struggle to hold onto his ideals while navigating this dirty system hits close to home for anyone who's ever tried to do the right thing in a messed up situation. The takeaway here? It's good to have ideals, but if you aren't willing to adapt or fight the dirty fights, you might end up getting steamrolled. Ideals are great, but they need to be flexible if you're gonna survive in a corrupt world. In real life, there are moments when doing the right thing according to the rulebook just doesn't work. Gaon shows us that there's a middle ground. You don't have to become a full-blown vigilante like Kang Johan, but sometimes you've gotta bend the rules to get results. The drama constantly pits Gaon's moral righteousness against Johan's pragmatic and ruthless approach. Johan sees the system as something that needs to be burned down and rebuilt, while Gaon wants to fix it from within. By the end of the show, Gaon's journey reveals that sometimes the black and white thinking of good versus evil doesn't apply. Justice often falls into this gray zone where doing the right thing might require doing some bad things. And this isn't just about breaking the law. It's about understanding that life isn't as simple as good guys win, bad guys lose. Johan represents that harsh reality. He's willing to play dirty to make the world a better place. Gaon, on the other hand, struggles to reconcile his beliefs with the reality he's forced to face. This moral tug-of-war makes you think about your own life. When have you had to compromise on your values, and was it worth it? The lesson here isn't to become corrupt yourself, but to realize that there's a space between idealism and cynicism. Another thing Devil Judge nails is showing the cost of pursuing justice. Gaon loses a lot: his best friend, his sense of identity, and eventually his moral compass. It's a reminder that doing the right thing isn't always glamorous, and it's definitely not easy. This hits especially hard when you think about how justice plays out in real life. People who fight for change often pay a personal price, whether it's in the form of public backlash, threats, or even losing their closest allies. Gaon's transformation is a cautionary tale about the sacrifices that come with pursuing what's right, especially when right isn't clear-cut. The takeaway? Fighting for justice can be lonely, painful, and confusing, and there's no guarantee you'll come out on the other side feeling like a hero. But if you're willing to go down that path, you need to be prepared to lose something along the way. One of the more emotional beats in Gaon's story is his relationship with Elia, Johan's niece. Both of them are bonded by their shared trauma, Gaon losing his parents and Elia being orphaned. It's through their suffering that they form a connection, and this shows how pain can sometimes bring people closer together. Shared pain can be a powerful force, and in The Devil Judge, it serves as a reminder that sometimes the people who understand you best are the ones who've been through the same hardships. In a broader sense, the show suggests that societal suffering is what unites people. Gaon and Johan's team are brought together by their collective pain from being victims of a corrupt system. This is super relevant in today's world. The show asks a crucial question: can collective suffering be the catalyst for change, or will it only breed more violence and chaos? So what can we really learn from Kim Gaon? First, it's that the pursuit of justice isn't for the faint of heart. Gaon's journey from idealistic rookie to someone who sees the world in shades of gray is both tragic and relatable. We all start off wanting to make the world a better place, but sometimes life throws us curveballs that force us to rethink our approach. Ultimately, the Devil Judge teaches us that change requires more than just good intentions. You've got to be willing to get in the trenches and face some ugly truths. Galen's story is a reminder that if you want to fix a broken system, you can't always play by its rules. And yeah, you might lose yourself a little in the process, but sometimes that's the price of real change. In the end, being the good guy isn't as simple as it sounds, but if Galen taught us anything, it's that the struggle is worth it. Just make sure you know what you're willing to sacrifice. And honestly, isn't that something we all wrestle with? So yeah, Galen's not just a pretty face, although let's be real, Park Jin-young doesn't hurt the eyes. He's a layered, complex character whose journey challenges everything we think we know about justice. And honestly, after watching him struggle, maybe the rest of us don't have it so bad after all. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Also be sure to check out my other videos for more insight on other dramas and shows. Your support means a lot to me and it helps me grow this channel. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future videos, please drop them in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you next time.